Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Tom Mizu. You're watching my channel Mizu 14, and I'm here doing a review of Fosse Verdon, Season 1, the finale. I just want to say I have enjoyed Fosse Verdon show on FX for a while. Enjoyed their story, their life, and the drama, the acting, the songs, the dancing. It was interesting. It was interesting episodes. This give us some understanding about the Bob and Gwen relationship. It seemed like their relationship was the most um, authentic, um, even though it wasn't too joyous throughout the ride. They had like bumps in the road. They was they married, they separated, they never got divorced and everything until they each passed away and stuff like that. But their relationship was always a strange one. Like they was good for a while. They Bob kept doing and doing. Gwen ain't having it. She left and all that stuff. But no matter what, every time they called on each other, they always need each other, and they just can never say no towards each other. So it was like hard for other relationships that going on because they want to move on from each other, but they can't move on from each other because they always connected to each other, even though they got a child. But even with the child, it's like that. They always find themselves way back to each other. So it's like it destroyed their relationships if they wanted to have any other relationships. It got destroyed. So this episode, it was really starting off. They was doing all that jazz. It was 9 years left of whatever's going on. So Bob is doing the story of his life, basically a life story. And he was walking down the park with his friend Patty. And you know Patty is straightforward. He would tell him exactly what is up and how he feels, stuff like that. So he told Bob, he said, you know what's wrong with your work and all that stuff like that? It's like your characters have changed. It's the same thing. It just changed. It doesn't change. They always the flat thing. There's no progressive the characterizations on the people. So it's not really much you can do it. And he said, you know what, this thing about your life is I can tell you the sum up of your life. Act one, this guy always got what he wanted. He always get the ladies and stuff like that, and always met the beautiful lady. When he met the beautiful lady, they fall in love with the lady. Fall in love with the lady, and then all of a sudden, you can't control. You with Annie. Gwen, you was person you was messing with for a while, and then all of a sudden, you left. Gwen, you messing, keep fooling around, keep fooling around. Somehow you mess with Annie. Annie messing with you was like that. Now Annie's gone, all that stuff, and somehow, no matter what's going on, you find your way back with your ex-wife because y'all cannot get away from each other. And then at the end, you die, and that's how it is. So that's all your life story. So it basically was like, okay. So later on, Bob listened to a listening recording of him and Gwen. They was talking, and basically Gwen was like, he asked her one question and said, "How do you feel about me?" This be sorry. He said, "How do you feel about me?" And she said, "I don't tell you the truth. I don't really feel much about you right now." I said, "Damn, you don't feel anything for him? That's really that's hard. And when you have somebody don't feel anything for you, and that means that you're not irrelevant right now in their life." And she asked him, "Does he change? Did he change?" He said, "I don't think he really changed at all. You've been the same person at all. You've been always the person who always thought about yourself. Even though you always thought about yourself, you do what you gotta do. You work hard, all that stuff. You still gonna do what you gotta do. You still gonna be smoking. You still gonna be taking pills. You still gonna be doing that. You have been doing all that. You still be freaking around with other females while you still with someone else. So." Nothing has to really change. So you stay stagnant. It's just you stagnant, your work stagnant as well, so like that. So that was that. And so later on, Nicole's was her father. House. Nicole at this time right now, she's going through a lot of drugs, kind of in the same route as her father, smoking, drinking, popping pills while she's drinking, and she just having this whole emotional breakdown, so like that. She's not really too close with her mom like that right now because of the falling out a little bit they had. So she stayed with her father and stuff. So she's doing what she's doing. She battling the addiction that she having, and it's just sad to see that girl going through this. But it's but through this time, he's still working on his play and his life story, and he trying to cast people who's gonna play their life. story. So later on, it was auditioning for a role, and basically one of the roles, Annie, who Yusuf was messing with, was auditioning for, and basically it was, he used the line in his life story was a line that she told him, so he used that lines of what she said in a thing, and then when she was reading it, it was like she was not connecting because she didn't want to connect to it. He said you gotta give your all to this part and stuff, and he kept making her do it over, 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 to the point that she just freaking snapped on him and said, "You do this and all this stuff. Why you did it? I ain't gonna do that." And then he had her do the line over, and she just did it perfectly in the motion that he wanted her to be, and he gave her the part. She just stormed out. She said she's sick of him. She just sick of him. It's like, what was the point in doing all of that for? Alright, so we get Gwen talk to Mel, who was person who like an agent, and he was helping and try to get her the jobs. So he was telling her, like, what about LA? Going back to LA, you would get plenty of opportunities and stuff like that. She said no. She want to stay where she want to stay at. She have opportunities here like that. No, I just want to work when I do it, get a job. And he said he gonna get some calls to see to get some jobs, because if she want to go to LA to where she can get more opportunities, so he got to make some calls. All right, so Glenn and Juan talk, and she basically just talk about life future, like let's get a house somewhere, and let's build a family, and let's get a place and have pets and a fence and two kids and raise a family, all that stuff, like a little American dream. And Juan, he was hesitant, but at the same time, he was like, you know what? They talking, Gwen want this, going like this. If she's ready to do this, let's go ahead. So he said was okay. She said, okay, yeah, okay. I was like, ooh, enthusiastic much. You're like, you don't really got much to say okay. Like, are you not happy? But I think I understand why his reservation is like, yes, she would say this, but next minute alone, something comes up and she just cannot go anywhere, and she distracted, and she will push back and not go move on for what they were saying. So he's like, okay, he gonna see how it is. All right, so after that, they was talking about all that jazz and stuff, and they go is becoming to the tour, and he wants Gwen to play Roxy in the national tour. So it was like, ooh. And it would be 6 months. And it basically the Chicago tour, 6 months. And she agreed to it. Before she even thought about it, she just accepted, she agreed to it because Bob asked her. She said, she agreed. She can't say no to him. It's like no matter what. He calls her to ask her for something. No matter how much she resists, she always give him and say yes. And that's the power she always been having. Like, she always give in and say yes and continue the project or want him in the project, and then they both cannot like stay no and stay away from each other. They always join connected. So she told Ron about it, and he is not happy. He was not happy, and he was like, listen, you say you want to have a house, you say you want a family, you say this like that. What's going on? Why you can't do that? And he said no. Tell her you can't do all that stuff. She said, I already agreed to it. And he said, it's just only 6 months, and it's only 6 months that we could continue doing all that stuff, and we continue to have our dream. He said, no, I can't do that. He said, you know what's going to happen? Then when 6 months turns into 9 months. Then that 9 months turns to a year, and we still sitting here. And he said, you know your problem is, you just can't say no. And I can't be here doing that. So if you walk out that door, and you continue doing that in Chicago, you go ahead. But if you walk out the door, don't expect me to be here. And she was not giving up, so he left. And now she don't have nobody right now, and left Bob. So they like all twisted going on towards each other. I said, oh, y'all need to get it together, y'all. Y'all is doing too much. All right, so it was a part called Bye Bye. It was a song called Bye Bye, and they got, I guess Bob had somebody who was playing him, and he was on down the crowd on his stuff, and then they stopped and said cut. But in that midst of it cutting, I think Bob was dreaming at the time. And he said, go ahead, do what you gotta do. Do y'all wanna see Bob? And he said, yeah. He said he was going up the crowd doing what that person he had him playing, him, was doing. And he going up the crowd thinking the people was loving Bob or stuff. And so find out it was just like scene and cut, and it was like, that. So he snapped out of it. The reality is like, okay, they not really up here for me. I just do what I have to do, right? So, yeah, so later on, so we got Bob received a lot of nominations and a lot of Oscar nominations for all that jazz. And 2 months after that, he was doing his next film, Star 80, but that received the worst reviews ever in his whole career. So I said, oh, I never heard about Star 80. So I just probably looked that up and see what's up with that and why it was the worst reviews of his whole career. All right, so during the midst of it, Bob got a call and his friend Patty died. I said, oh no, Patty, his best friend. He went to the funeral, he wanted to talk, but he didn't do much talking. He said, some of y'all might not understand, so I'm just going to do it anyway. He just did a little piece number and on stage danced a little bit, and then every time he do it, he kept stopping because he was crying, and then he kept doing it again, and then he stopped stopping because crying. He keep trying to cover his face, he's trying to wipe his face off, because you know you're tearing. Like, we see it, Bob. Like, you emotional. That's your best friend. He died before you and stuff, and he did that. He gave his final goodbyes, and he kissed the coffin, and he walked out. All right, so Bob told Gwen that Joe, he was talking to Joe because they had sat down talking towards each other at the bar and everything. Because after their lives going on, Gwen started reflecting her life and saying, what the hell's going on? That she got nobody right now. Her daughter not with her. Ron left her and everything. Bob is doing him. So it's like, what the hell? So they talk and talk about some friends and everything. And then he said Joe wanted to do a revival of Sweet Charity. Remember that first scene number that was on the first episode, Sweet Charity, that didn't get so much reviews in his life and it got him all fucked up. They didn't want to do a revival of Sweet Charity. And he basically didn't want to do the director. He tried to probably get somebody else to do the director, but he said they want to keep going same choreography. They love the choreography, and he asked Gwen, "Can Gwen do it and be overseeing, be a supervisor, stuff like that?" And until they get somebody to, I guess, take cover the spot. And he said, "What? This is a revival. This is your thing, and you just want me? I don't know. I don't know if I could do this and stuff like that." He said, "It's good. All you have to do is you have to worry about it being in a couple months, a couple weeks in the beginning. You can go there later on and just check it out." She did all that stuff. There was that. Eventually, I think he was once somewhere with another female, and he was doing a recording about if you have a woman that always there by your side, always step through your slack, always step through your ups, always step through your downs, be there for you no matter what, and you still push you around, will you jeopardize all that by rendezvous with a one night stand or with a woman and stuff like that just to have a little fun? Will you do that? And he said, I did, I would. And I said, yes, that was your life. That was your problem with you. You messed up your marriage because you cannot see the fact that to fulfill your self-indulgence, to fulfill your need to have sex with somebody else while you have a wife who always going to be there for you. So, while with Sweet Charity, after while it wasn't doing so well, no, Gwen is not feeling it. It's like it's something's missing and she needs you. So she called Bob while he was on that and said, I need you to come down here. If you was there in New York and I was called you to come down next day. He said, okay, where you at? I said, oh, okay. He said, was in rehearsals tomorrow. He came down and they saw a little bit and they was looking at it. I said, oh, okay. And they basically was staring at each other or stuff like that. And it was like, oh, okay. So they had to do some work. So later on, they had this lady performing a piece on Sweet Charity. You See Me Now. And I think she was not connecting. So he's like, "What's that? Like you dances like that, but what are you dancing to? How you connect with the words?" And he said, "Gwen, can you show us all that stuff?" So Gwen said, "Ah," so she did it, and she did the piece and stuff like that. Saw Bob and said, can you see me now?" And also they look at each other, they staring. I guess this the first time revealing that yes, they see each other. They see each other. They know they see each other now, and or basically finally maybe he finally really saw Gwen who she is. Like this is the woman that he posted that was him, his soulmate all along, and he was doing all that extra stuff, and it's right there in front of your face. That's the person you should have had been faithful and wilding on this way with, and um, so they had Street Charity, and it was an opening night to tour and everything, and Gwen went to get Bob. Bob was running a little late. She got him all that stuff. They walking down the street to the thing, and the next minute they know, he started falling out. He fell out on the ground, and I know I read somewhere that he died of a heart attack, and um, she did tell people in the streets called the ambulance. He's epileptic. He had a seizure. He's seen it out. He needs to go. And they looked at each other, and all the memories, their past memories of together, was floating in front of their faces. Between her life and his life, she started crying and stuff like that, and it was like crazy how this come about. The person you dogged out was there at the end of it, and was there at the end of it for the all. Was there in your dying person. This is the last person you seen. The person you dogged out was the last person you seen, and she just been there and hold him until he passed. And that was basically the end of the episode. And then they went to the credits and saw more that Bob and Gwen bodies of work and stuff like that is opening Broadway. It's called Fosse, and Gwen is the artistic credit person, advisor on the credit of that Fosse piece that's on Broadway. Nicole's daughter, she's pursued dance, and at the while, she was still battling her addiction of drugs, alcohol, and other addictions. Later on, she got married, she fell in love, and had 3 kids, and moved to Vermont, so like that. Gwen moved in with the mother, and then after a while, 2 months later, she died. So that was a life thing, and I think Nicole Fosse executive produced this Fosse Verdon series and stuff like that. So I like I said, I appreciate the story. I appreciate the life, the story they gave us about Bob Fosse and Gwen Verdon, and this gave us the most appreciation of the work they have done, and also the backstory of what led to these things. And it was great. It was great acting, and I don't know if they will come back another season. If they is, I would be more than welcome to continue reviewing when they come back. But if not, I had enjoyed the series. Hope y'all had enjoyed my reviews. If y'all this is my first review y'all seen, go back to my other ones of Fosse Verdon that I talked about, and tell me what y'all think. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see y'all all later. Peace.